Thank you very much, Matt. So as Matt has already said, I'd like to obviously talk to you about the cytotoxicity data that I've got for both of the commercial adjuvant preparations. And the models that we actually used were the THP1 cells, and the concentration of aluminium that they were exposed to was in the order of 130 microgram per mil, so at the very lower end of what would actually be accepted within a clinical vaccination. So this assay that we conducted was actually a live dead staining assay. So this is comprised of two specific dyes, one for dead cells and one for live cells. And as you can see already, at lower concentrations of the actual adjuvant, because we actually did, I should have mentioned we did actually a concentration study on this, so we did use 2.5 and 25 microgram per mil of adjuvant as well. So at the lower concentrations of the actual alhydrogel, which is highlighted in the red here, you actually see practically no toxicity at 2.5 microgram per mil and 25 microgram per mil of aluminium. However, at 100 microgram per mil, which again is the lower limit of what's accepted within commercial vaccines, you actually see an increase in toxicity. So if we move on to the Adjuvos, which is highlighted in blue, we actually see the Adjuvos is significantly toxic, even low concentrations of the aluminium. So at 2.5, around just between 30 and 40, so 35% of the actual cells are dead. And this increases as you increase the concentration of the adjuvant. So there is a significant difference between the toxicity of alhydrogel and Adjuvos when immune cell components actually come into contact with this material and actually phagocytose this material. So just to conclude, for the two aluminium adjuvants, the commercially approved preparations, these were actually found in the intracellularly phagocytosed. So they were localized predominantly in the cytoplasm. There was practically no evidence of them being associated with any nuclear material. So only co-culture with Adjuvos actually resulted in any toxicity. So this was actually shown by Dr. Mould in these images that showed extracellular DAPI staining. Inject alum, which is the research preparation, is also internalized by THP1 cells. However, the aggregates are typically larger in size than you would see for alhydrogel and Adjuvos. So higher concentrations of the adjuvant, which were cultured with THP1 cells. At higher concentrations, so typically 50 microgram per mil to 100 microgram per mil, there was actually a reduced cellular uptake with these materials. And remember, these have in common that they are actually amorphous materials, and they actually have a larger particle size, so they have a reduced cellular uptake at larger concentrations. And again, alhydrogel is typically much less toxic to cells than Adjuvos is at an equivalent concentration of aluminium. And the main point to take away from this is that this means that because alhydrogel actually is less cytotoxic, that the cells, the immune cells that would pick up this material are actually viable. So it means that alhydrogel is more likely to be translocated to sites away from that, the injection site. So that's the really main point to take away from this talk. Just to end the talk, I'd like to thank the organisers for inviting me to talk here today. So I'd like to thank Claire Dwoskin, and I'd also like to thank Professor Schoenfeld. Thank you.